you know, this is your brand deal for today. You know, you might get another one if you build relationships, but beyond that, we're going to talk a lot about what your future as a content creator looks like. Does anybody in the room right now own a business? What's your business?
I own a production company called That Design.
Production company? Okay.
I have a clothing brand.
A clothing brand. Yusuf? Okay, doesn't know.
I'm starting a brand.
Starting a brand. What's that, Flugger? What's up, man? I'm mic'd up.
Keep in mind, it's alright if you're mic'd up. Keep in mind that everybody have a lunch happening right now.
Yeah. We do an hour, they have an hour after. Okay. Yeah, you go. All right. Surprise, all you guys have a business. Streaming is 100% a business. And the sooner you treat it like one, the better you'll be able to take advantage of its opportunities. I know business kind of has some connotation like it's all about making money, but it's not. Sometimes it could be about impacting people. There's plenty of nonprofit businesses, their goal is not to make money, right? Your business goal objective can be either to what? Entertain, inform. Entertain, inform. If you're streaming, you're either entertaining or you're informing. So today, this is the informing. I don't do this part too often, but I'm gonna walk you through what it's like to grow a business. We're gonna talk a little bit about, I'm gonna pocket watch somebody else's business. Then we're gonna get into tone. We'll talk a little bit about A&P. I'm gonna give you a prospective business that I'm probably gonna start in the next year. And then while I'm doing that, I really want you to think about what you may be interested in. And what the common answers might be is like a brand, maybe some clothing, but think outside the box. It could be whatever your interests are. And just to kind of get the ball rolling, I love racing. For me, racing is super fun. I just learned that this is a passion of mine for the past 2 years. And so as I'm getting more into it, I was trying to think about ways to monetize that. So I love energy drinks. I drink 12 a day if I need to. And so my brain thinks, well, 12 is an exaggeration, I saw your eyes. My brain thinks if I love energy drinks, maybe there's a way I could build a business around the thing that I like. Find something you really like. Keep it in your mind. It could be a couple things. It could be running. Maybe you love endurance running. It could be editing. Maybe you're a huge editor. Maybe strategically, you love thinking of the business strategy side of things. Whatever it is, just keep it in the back of your mind, because as I talk through some of these concepts, I want you to try and relate it to how it's going to apply to you. Oh, the wrong slide. Sorry. Yeah, that was a different talk. I would like to start by saying you don't own nothing. You don't own YouTube. You don't own Twitch. You don't own Instagram. You don't own TikTok. Who here has been a victim of being banned on a platform you don't know why? Right? And I want to illustrate to the people that this hasn't happened to yet, sometimes it can be really scary because if it's your job, it kind of feels like your livelihood was just stolen. And I've had this moment a long time ago, and it scared me straight. Sometimes this is something you just had to, you know, put your hand on the stove and learn the hard way. But I'm hoping you just heed to advice and you learn some of these lessons before this happens. In 2020, January, they changed the rules on YouTube, okay? They didn't want people advertising to kids no more. And people were finding workarounds to do it, you know, toothpaste companies, stuff like that. This is an analytic I just took from a YouTube video of a family channel this year. They got 2 million views. In the year, they only made $959. This same channel, pre-2020, is making almost $100,000 on the same views. All it took was a simple policy change. YouTube didn't like that type of content no more. They didn't want people to advertise that type of content. YouTube Kids exist. They rerouted it. So what I'm trying to say is they didn't own YouTube. They don't own this platform. Therefore, they were vulnerable, and something changed, and it rocked their livelihoods. If this was their job, they are now putting fries in the bag. And what the reality is, the streaming stuff is not forever. Like if you think about your favorite streamers, they come and go. Sometimes they last a year. Sometimes they last 5 years, 10 years. You have to be realistic. Just because you're doing well now doesn't mean next year's gonna be better. You could be giving belt. You could be doing all the right things, but it doesn't mean it's gonna work out for you, right? There's a lot of people that didn't make it to Stream University. It's not because they didn't deserve it. So there's a lot that's not in your control. Today we're going to talk about some of the long-term things that are in your control, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit helpful to you guys. You know, as I'm talking, you might be asking the big question, hopefully. Maybe I should own something, right? You don't own your channels. Maybe I should own something, and that's precisely why we started A&P in 2019. We had a down year. All of A&P pretty much played NBA 2K. There was a really bad down year, and it looked like, damn, money's down. We're like, yo, it don't matter. Look. Question, let's say, what's like a type of content you like to watch?
IRL.
IRL.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bad example. Anybody like watching a niche example? Yusuf.
Food videos, mukbangs.
Okay, let's say you like making noodle videos, and then for some reason there's horrible PR for noodles. People don't fuck with noodles no more. Okay? You're cooked. You could be the most entertaining personality, but you're cooked. This happens a lot to gamers that's attached to a game that people lose interest in. But IRL is a little different because it's kind of no man's land. Honestly, it's a lot harder to go IRL because you're not attached to anything people actually care about. So I'm going to say something, hopefully it doesn't sound too pseudo, right? What made you guys excited to come to Stream University?
I wanted to learn and better my skills as a creator. I wanted to expand and become the greatest I can ever be.
Okay. Right here?
The exposure. Because I've always been consistent.
Exposure.
But I just kind of started, so the exposure really.
Yugi?
More recognition and new eyes that are brought onto the stream.
Okay. Okay, good answers. These are all good answers.
I just want to come to your class and heard what you guys
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Learning how to be uncomfortable.
Learning how to be uncomfortable, challenging yourself. Okay, good. These are all good answers, okay? Streamer University, an example, when we have conversations and we're talking strategy and creative, there's high appeal ideas and there's low appeal ideas, right? You could be the most entertaining person, but no one's gonna stick with a low appeal idea. The idea just has to be something that's really packaged well. Stream University is this, like, the thought of learning being content is crazy on the internet. Like, as entertaining content, but everybody's excited to be here. Stream University is an example of a very high appeal idea. I don't want to get too pseudo, but just keep that in mind, right? There's a lot that's not within your control. There is a lot that's within your control. You control what you can, and you ignore the rest. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a case example. So there's a YouTube channel. This is Ryan Trahan's channel. I put up his stats, okay? In the last month, he got 35 million long form views. He got 44 million short form views. And you can look at the subscribers over there as well. He's cooking, right? This is actually a down month for him, I'll be honest. And if you take a look at those stats, he's making approximately $345,000 in long form, okay? I'm probably off by like 20,000 here or there, but he's making a good amount based on the length of his videos and the ads that he runs, which is very healthy. He's one of the biggest YouTubers. He's making about $50,000 on short form. It's not the money he's making on short form. It's kind of like the views and the attention he's getting on short form that's also being funneled into his long form. When you're a streamer, think about the content you make, like people have to see you. You know what I'm saying? People seeing you is currency. Just because you haven't made $1 from a clip doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You feel me? Because if people see your face enough times, next time they're introduced to you, you have a little bit more influence over their decisions. And their decision could be something as simple as showing up to your stream. You know what I'm saying? When you have a brand deal, it could be as simple as supporting the brand. When you have an event, it could be as simple as buying tickets. The more people see your face, the more likable you are, the more people you're doing things that provide value, the better received it will be. Let's keep going money-wise. You know, you total both of those. He made approximately $400,000 a month. Who here thinks that's bad money? It's phenomenal money. This actually is where a lot of people stop. They made the good money, and they don't see anything past that because they don't actually have a long-term vision. This is short-term. This is the money he made this month. Money's higher one month, money's lower next month. Views are higher one month, views are lower next month. If you're always playing day to day, you won't make a singular decision for the future. You get what I'm saying? That's a pretty penny, bro. $5 million a year. I think he has a team of like 3 people. His ideas don't cost a ton of money if you guys watch his channel. So like he's probably profiting a good amount. But let's think about long term. So I'm gonna give a handful of examples just because in your head you might be thinking, oh, I can't do that because I'm not a rich YouTuber. He started a candy company called Joyride. He got in Target, and now he's in a bunch of other retailers. And for him, as much as he enjoys making content, you can feel that passion in his videos. He saw a future where he thought he could make a ton of money doing something that he really cared about and doing it in a way where he's using his audience to promote this business. So he's in 5 different retailers: Target, Kroger. This kind of sounds like an ad for him, but it's not. This is just, you have to understand the context. The more retailers in your reach, especially as a candy business, is exponentially higher. So I did some quick math. Approximately, a candy business of his stature is making around $50 million in annual revenue. Okay, this is a business that's about 2 years old. You know, and businesses, they grow exponentially. Like if you grow them properly, they grow exponentially. Now he doesn't put $50 million in his pocket, because he has 20 to 40% margins. Let's say he's on the lower end, because maybe the Skittles and some of the big candy companies are on the higher end of margins because they have so much scale. Let's say he has just 20%. He made $10 million of profit in the last year from his business. 10 million, that's double all the money he made on his YouTube channel. But even that, to me, is a little too short term. That's money he's making this year. It's not that it's not great money. It's not that it won't time, but that's just money he's making this year. And so you can see here, this is just the profit. So I'm putting them side by side so you can get a sense of what people think he's making his money off of and what he's most realistically making his money off of. And this is not just a Ryan Trahan thing. You could apply it to plenty of content creators nowadays, like, the KSI Logan Paul's got the Prime. I think Jake Paul has a business. Everybody got business. Yusuf, what's up?
Okay, as a professor, since you're the one in front of us, how much do you make a year?
You're gonna have to pocket watch me, my boy. Good try, champ. You can't sell content, but you can sell businesses. I mean, you could sell a stream. Maybe you get a brand deal, right? But you could sell a business, dude. And I'm gonna share knowledge with you. All the business people watching this is gonna seem like common knowledge that everybody understands. But people that's not in the business world truly do not understand the scale of opportunity. And those people would die to be in a position where they have an audience that fucks with them the way your audience fucks with you. These brands have to try and convince people to buy their product. That's facts. You're not selling nobody anything. You're just being yourself. People already like you. So as long as the thing you're making, your service you're creating, the product you have is something you truly believe in, then you will have no problem translating that energy, and your fans will have no problem supporting that. Because I'm telling you this one thing, when people really like you, they show it. They support it. So you don't want to just get eyeballs. You want to get eyeballs from people that actually with you, because that looks very different. Not just financially, but just experience. Like, you live in life, bro. You meeting these people in real life. You don't want to meet people and have negative interactions. You want to walk around and have positive interactions. And so let's get into a little bit about selling businesses, which doesn't sound like a Stream University thing. But again, I want to remind you, all you guys are running businesses, bro. Every single one of you. And this is not a metaphor. You literally are running a business. You literally have to pay that tax. So I hope you're doing that. Okay, good. All right. Now let's get into, I don't know who that is. Let's get into the average candy sales for a business. So we established that he's approximately making $50 million gross, which means over the course of a year, he's making $50 million in that business, revenue-wise, right? So usually when you sell a business, there's a multiple. So if I'm selling Ryan Trahan's business that makes $50 million a year, it's worth 5 times that amount on average. You can negotiate that, which is $250 million. This is the number you usually see when you look at a Forbes list and they say someone's a billionaire. It's the net worth. So it's the stuff that they own, but it technically isn't worth anything till you sell it. So his business makes $50 million a year, which is already amazing, but look how much it's worth. That's $250 million. Now, realistically, he doesn't own the whole thing. He owns a big portion of it, probably a controlling share, so he can make all the decisions. So there's no suit. I mean, we've probably heard some horror stories of people that let in suits and then they took over the business and they ruined it by trying to milk it for profits. You want to try and maintain control. That's one thing we genuinely believe in at AMP. You give that away and you lost your creativity, you lost your sauce as a content creator. So let's say he owns half of this. That means he owns a business worth $125 million. That's what he puts in his pocket. That's technically what he owns to the government. That's $125 million. Now, to make that same 125, now let's say he sells the business, right? Let's say he grows the business to this point and he sells it to, I don't know, the Mars Company. All right, they make chocolates and candies and stuff like that. It would take him 25 years of making content today and every day till he's about 50 to make the money he can make in 3 years just growing a business he truly cared about. So, and I know not everybody here is really money hungry, but I really want you to understand, money hungry people, they're just greedy bastards, okay? We're not focused on them. Money is the thing that makes your dreams possible. It's not just the thing you could do to buy a nice fancy house. Maybe you want to do something nice for your mom. You have ideas in your brain. Completely neglecting the business side because you're only focused on creative, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're eventually not going to be able to afford some of the brilliant ideas you have in your mind. Stream University is a crazy idea. I imagine it costs millions of dollars. He rented an entire campus, bro. He rigged it with his own internet. Like, it's not cheap to do some of these things. And as much as you want to get brands involved to help subsidize the cost, realistically, when you own a business, the upside is all yours. So if you ever heard people talking about equity, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about actually owning something of value. And it almost sounds like this can't be you. On God, it can. There's no reason why this cannot be you. There's genuinely no reason. Don't let anybody make you believe because this number feels like it has a lot of zeros that you're not capable of growing that, right? Running a business is like anything else. It's a skill. Being entertaining, that's a skill. Being funny is a skill. Editing is a skill. This is just something that you're going to have to work on. The more you work on it, the more capable you are, and the more you'll be able to maximize your content and your audience. And congratulations, you guys are streamers, so you have a buff. The average company has to spend 20% of the money they make on marketing. They got to promote it. There are some companies like Tesla that are famous for not doing any marketing. Like you won't see ads for Tesla ever. But then there's the opposite. I see a Kia ad everywhere I go. You walk in the airport, there's a Kia. You watch the NBA game, there's a Kia. There's some companies that have to max spend to get in front of people. There's some that don't have to spend at all. Congratulations. Your business is one where you genuinely might not have to spend at all. You might not have to spend any in marketing because your audience is the marketing. It is. And I'm telling you, so let me tell you a quick story. When we started Tone, we flew to Minnesota to go to Target office, and we had talked to them. And they were just, first of all, they were enamored by the whole concept of content creators creating a business. We came in there, we had a fire presentation, we prepared everything, and they loved it. And one of the main points that we can point to them and say is like, we don't have to spend a ton of our money trying to push this product. Because, you know, when they put it up on these shelves, they want to know that people understand what it is. And so just by nature of putting our faces on there, I mean, if you guys ever walked in Target, you've seen like Duke's face on one of the Sense of Tone. But that is a serious buff, and you all have that buff, regardless of how big or small of a streamer you are. As you're growing, you need to be thinking about ways you can utilize this buff to try and maximize some money. This is an example of a couple businesses that more famously have used social media. So look, I'm gonna tell you this. Every business is now doing social media content. Facts or not? They have TikTok accounts. They're trying to seem hip. They're hiring people like newly graduates to try and make hit tweets and stuff like that, like in 2020 or whatever when the chicken sandwich is coming out. Even Red Bull, like they kind of sell energy drinks. They really just make cool videos, bro. Most of the time you see Red Bull, it's not because you're drinking the energy drink. This is technically their product. But you're realistically, they have encapsulated the idea of using content to promote their brand, right? When I see Red Bull, it's F1. When I see Red Bull, they own like 4 football clubs, bro. And so like as much as they do sell energy drinks, because of the power of their content, I mean, that's 76 million views. That's a type of number that most brands will never achieve. You have to really understand content. The thing is, y'all are here, y'all are in the bubble, you understand content. This is your passion, you understand content. You're in a weird position where the people with money wanna be like you. If you talk to them, I'm telling you, I was at an NBA event, and I bumped into this guy. He was probably my age. Maybe he was a little bit younger. And he said, Agent, I love your videos. I want you to introduce you to my mom. His mom was some vice president, something of Coca-Cola. So it's weird. You don't think the people with money are your audience, but they have kids that watch, 1. And then 2, if they're in the know, they are in the know. That's just factually true. I don't think there's a business that doesn't know who Kai Cenat is. But it doesn't stop at Kai Cenat. I think building relationships, putting yourself in front of people, reaching out, making the effort is all part of that. But again, I really want to employ, like, you could get a Wendy's brand deal, but it's just better to own Wendy's, bro. It's just better. It's just better. And you just have to, once you start, you'll be like, damn, I should have started earlier. Once you start, you'll be like, wow, I waited way too long. And you have a little bit of what ifs about it, but today is probably the best day to start thinking about it. And I'm gonna walk you through some of how I'm planning on doing that myself.
Watch the FIFA World Cup 2026 live on Fox with YouTube TV.
So a little bit about Tone. I'm gonna explain to you how we started Tone. We started Tone with money. Then I'm gonna explain to you how I'm gonna start a business without money, so you guys get a concept of how that works, okay? So, first of all, it costs a couple $1 million to start. Very expensive to create a product brand new. And then to test the product a bunch, we had to hire a CEO. The process was very arduous. First thing we did, we went to a conference room. We chopped it up. We came up with the ideas of things we were passionate about. You know, I shot out some ideas like maybe an energy drink. You know, Phantom shot out an idea, maybe some food. People shot out some ideas, right? What we landed on was something personal care, something we all believed in. You want to smell good, look good, be your best. You feel me? And so once we landed on that, okay, what products do we need? Actually, we hired a CEO on this stage too, because he's going to be the one that actually creates the product, stuff like that. you want to do the packaging. So we ended up doing the packaging. We had a bunch of meetings about what it was going to look like, how it was going to feel, what, like the vibe of it, what would the colors be, how do we want it to look when it's on the shelves and stuff like that. And then we tested. The amount of testing we did, I couldn't even explain it to you. We were in rooms, nonstop, smelling things. What's this scent? Is it going to be like that? What's the form factor? How's it going to look? Is it a strong scent? How's it like? And we tested and tested and tested and wrote it down and jotted it down. Not just us, but we got other people to test them too to get different opinions. We actually have some test samples. I think Marcus might be one of the only people that still has it because it was very rare. But this whole process, I'm telling you, it took maybe 8 to 10 months of just testing, hiring, perfecting the process because we didn't want to come up with something mid. Then we did it. We launched it. We launched it direct to consumer, which means we sold it on Tone.shop. And we weren't on retailers at the time. But once retailers heard how well day one went, it didn't take too long before we were in Target. Immediately planned the meeting with Target. And once we had Target, we were exclusive in Target for a little while. We crushed in Target. In fact, they were impressed that we started and it went up. Usually people try the product and then it kind of goes down. But they were impressed how many return customers were pulling up. And the thing is, once you do well in Target, the other retailers actually get that data, and now they want to have conversations. And so while it took a couple $1 million to start, and then we lost money in the first year, we're at the point where we could potentially break even this year, but we're most likely going to make money next year. So it feels a little crazy to think, but we don't see nothing from it. I know the number says potentially $30 million in revenue, but we're buying lots of inventory, we're figuring out packaging. I don't know, the tariffs hit us and then it's like, damn. But luckily, like most of it is made in America, so we didn't have to worry too much about it. But it's like there is so many factors and all of it is a skill. So at a high level for the big content creators, this is essentially how you would start a business if you had the money to afford making one yourself. But I'm gonna give you an example of how we're gonna do it. And that's going to be with the help of Shopify. So Shopify have been very gracious. So I wasn't trolling. If you guys watched my last class, I reached out to every brand. I said, we want people that's willing to help some of the streamers here today. We're talking business. Are you interested? They say yes. They said, what would the students need the most? What would you guys say you struggle with the most here so far today? Okay, that's perfect. Because we will be giving away 2 TVU backpacks today, courtesy of Shopify.
I need it! This is Brenton. This is not mine. This is Brenton. I was not live. This is Brenton.
So what we'll do is we'll pick at the end of the class. I don't have a format, but you know what I'm saying? I might let my chat pick. We'll see how it goes, okay? All right, so huge shout out to Shopify. And if you guys don't know how Shopify works, it's basically all back end. If you want to run your business, they literally have everything you need to make it happen, whether you're selling tickets to an event or, in this case, starting a racing company, which I'm going to be trying my best to do. So if you're interested in building businesses, I mean, you need a place to do it. And Shopify is, in my opinion, the best place to do it. And that's what I'm doing. So I honestly didn't want to make this talk, I'll be honest with you, but this is just the best way to explain how you can start a business with less money. Because my racing business is not going to start with a couple million. I'm gonna be honest, individually, I can't afford that. I'm spending my money on content right now. I can't spend my money on something that is currently a hobby. But I'm gonna walk you guys through it so you guys can see what it could potentially look like. Okay, so when you have a business, you need some sort of edge, okay? It needs to be something that's better than all the products that's out there. Luckily for me, I'm a streamer buff. Most people that get into racing, race cars, it's expensive. Sometimes it could cost up to $1-2 million depending on what you're racing in. Even on the cheapest end, it's like $50,000 a year, like to get in the cheapest possible thing. It is just simply expensive. The only way people support it is by brand support. But here's the thing. I'm not interested in just brand deals. I want to own it. So as much work as it might be, I'd rather own my own racing team. So I decided that. I made that decision earlier this year. I love this thing. Like when I get too stressed and I'm streaming, bro, I delete life for a day. I go to the track and I just zen out. You need that zen out. If you went to Lizzo's class, all about self-love, she was talking a little bit about that as well. And so when we want to talk about growing and building businesses, you want to talk about you want to start brainstorming different ways I can make money. Okay, well, the obvious way is people love racing attire. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's something a way they could use to support the brand, potentially. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it looks like to set up on Shopify. No troll, took an hour to set all this up, which is a little miraculous, but boom. So if people want some, they can have it. Oh, I didn't mention, Tone is also use Shopify to run the whole process. So Tone and Shopify are like this.
Wait, you said it's what?
We're like this. Yeah. They shown us a lot of support, which we appreciate. Okay, boom. I'm gonna walk you through the steps one by one. Okay. The first thing you want to do is the concept and the branding. All right. I've been talking for a little while. I want to shoot some questions out. Actually, before we do, I want y'all to chop it up with each other. Find someone in the class and talk a little bit about a business that you are interested in creating. I don't care how crazy it sounds. You would want to go to space if you want to, and that's your business. Come up with something that you're really passionate about. I'll give you guys 2 minutes. What's going on here?
Come talk to people, ask a question about what they're having a hard time hearing without the mic.
Who, chat?
Yeah, chat.
They can't hear with this?
They can't hear the audience.
Oh, I'll try and repeat the questions. That's on me. All right. Yeah. It's going smoother than I thought. I assume the worst usually. Chat, it's too pseudo right now, or you think it's helpful? I feel like this is stuff big streamers think about and little streamers wait too long to think about. Oh, they actually said the audience is loud. I don't know how true that is. I have no idea. We might let chat pay. Dead ass. Chat, look around. You know what I'm saying? We're going to ask some questions, stuff like that, so you guys can get a good.
I just died. I forgot my portable in my room.
Okay.
And then I was supposed to talk to Kai at 1:45.
That's fine. Yeah, you can head out.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Shout out Shopify. I said 2 TVU bags and they didn't blink. I almost asked for 3. You have anything in mind?
Yeah, so I was saying, my name is Amber, but my nickname is Coco. So I was thinking about like coming up with like my own brand of like cocoa butter and just
Okay, nice.
products and stuff like that.
Self-care.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Stuff like that, yeah. And then probably get into like maybe fashion and stuff earlier. But,
Okay, good.
I mean, not earlier, later on, but I just have different little ideas.
That's good. The more the better, honestly. You have options that way.
Yeah, I just have to figure out like, I mean, I know it's not like a super long class, but I do need like advice on like how to start it up and just like the streaming and stuff.
We could chop it up right after we get done. I could talk a little more specific. I think that's the next one after this one. Yeah. Of course. All right. Okay. Hold it down. So I'm gonna ask some of you guys. Let's go around, raise your hand if you guys want to share a business idea. It don't matter how silly or how serious you want to be about it. Just something that you're passionate about.
I really want to create a loungewear brand.
Okay.
Like really comfy and cutesy pajamas, like for women and like families.
Yes, there's not a lot.
That's amazing. Yes.
I would want to make a brand called Calico Cup Pants because whenever everyone goes to the bathroom, sometimes you pee a little bit on your pants and you're embarrassed. But if you tell them that, oh no, it's just Calico Cup Pants, it looks like I peed, but it's just a brand, it's a thing. People won't assume that you peed your pants while.
But it'll look like you did.
But it'll look like you did, and it's gonna be like Supreme type shit where it's
Supreme. All right. You know, that's a good idea. Right.
So I'm like tech savvy, and I also really like coffee and caffeine, and I drink a lot of energy drinks too. So I was thinking like maybe like tech meets coffee, like make a nice looking like coffee maker.
Okay.
Something that's like.
But that's really unique. I like that.
Yeah.
It's that simple though. You love coffee. It doesn't sound like something that you can make money off of, but why can't you start a coffee business? That's amazing. Okay, so naming and branding, these are all kind of subjective. I will say the main thing when we were talking about creating Tone was we wanted to have it be like something, yo, pass me that Tone. It had to be something you could say. We weren't gonna say, pass me that A&P Beauty, you know? We weren't gonna, it has to be something that rolls off the tongue, bro. And so that was, we had it, no troll, I think we went through 100 names. And it was like a March Madness bracket. And we got it down. That's how seriously you have to take this. We did the same thing when we started A&P. We went to freelancer.com and we put up a post. We said $2,000 for logo. And no troll, like 20,000 people responded. I don't forget what it was, but we were there in Discord. It was a 3-day event, narrowing it down. We were all fried by the end of it. But that's how seriously we took this. Because once you decide this, it's kind of hard to change.
Make it cold.
With AC Pro, anyone can recharge their car's AC. Like a pro. Be a pro with AC Pro.
It's to me, dear. These peaches are good.
Okay, like actual question. When y'all did stuff with the brand, like I know y'all don't have a lot of time for a lot of things. Did you guys actually do like all of this stuff? Did you have assistants and people?
So with Tone, we were making all the high level decisions. So we would meet in a room pretty much like once a month, and it would be like a full day thing where we would essentially talk to, at the time, he's still our CEO. He's our CEO. But the first thing we did was hire him. So we actually sat in it's a very scary call. These CEOs are scary people. They're like sharks, bro. And they demand crazy things. Like, you have no idea how good they are at negotiating. They can convince you you're about to die tomorrow. They're very, very good. But we went with the guy that we trusted the most. There were people that had crazier like resumes and stuff like that. We worked in this business, that business, sold 10 of these businesses. But we just went with the guy we could trust, because at the end of the day, we let you into our business. We're like this now. It's hard to remove someone once you let them into your business. And so if this the guy we're expecting to help run the show behind the scenes, the guy be somebody we trust, you know? But I'll say when you first start, these people cost a lot, like sometimes $500,000, sometimes $2 million a year. So but if you sell the business, you'll think, wow, they probably deserve more. They went crazy. And then you also kind of want to buy a domain, low key. Like you want to get something that's easy to, you know what I'm saying? And this actually applies to y'all names too. You know what I'm saying? If your name has mad numbers in it, or like, my name is Agent Zero with 2 T's, like it's confusing. Make it as simple as possible. My name is Agent Zero. Oh, okay, 2 zeros? Yeah, I bet. They can search it out.
So I kind of had a question, because my business was like, what I wanted was to create like a safe haven for like kids, so that after school programs or like things across just the United States or whatever. And when I grew up, I had after school programs, and it kind of saved my life from just going to the streets or just doing stuff after school that I didn't have any business doing, because I was there for like 5 hours right after school, but it was fun. I wanted to go there. We talked about the Lord, we had fun with each other, it was bonding experiences, and it was free for me. But I want to do that as a business and have that across the world. I don't know how I can make money from that, because what if, like do I not charge them for it, because I didn't have money? That's the reason why.
So the best way to do something like that, that's a nonprofit business. That's not a business you should make money from. But what I would always recommend doing is creating an actual business, a profit business, because that's gonna fund your nonprofit. Right. You feel me? So as you know, it just kind of feels like the selfish thing to do a little bit, right? You almost want to help people, not sell them things. But how many times have you needed help and the thing you were missing was money? How hard is it to get money? So to be able to get the money is actually gives you access. What you'll find is once you get the money, you probably will be lacking time. But once you have the money, you can just hire people to help with the nonprofit. Yeah. Okay, so the website continues. So, I mean, we got our whole website now. I'm creating a big racing company. It's going to be the next mega thing. I got my car on here with all the cool liveries and decals. It's going crazy. I'm really excited. I'm finding different ways to monetize my business here. And honestly, it was as simple as putting a prompt inside. Bro, no troll. I've never had an easier experience building this. We built it at 10 a.m. today. So that's how simple that was. You need no knowledge whatsoever. So the second thing you want to do, and you mentioned this earlier, is you want to incorporate your business. Let me explain a concept just if you've never seen a business before, okay? You are right here, okay? This is you. This is not your business. Your business is, let's call it Twitch LLC, okay? Okay? When you make money doing your business, streaming, you actually, all the money goes here. All of the money goes here. You don't make a dime. You pay yourself a certain salary based on the income you make on your business. So when I say business, I truly mean it's like a separate entity. Like legally, it is a separate entity. Like that means if your business goes under, you're not personally liable. You just bankrupt. And we see that a lot in business. When Spirit went bankrupt, the owners of Spirit don't have to come out their own pockets. It's just the business went under. So just on a very simple level, you're not your business. You own your business. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. You'll need that. So incorporating is essentially the process of creating that business. So you just get an incorporation lawyer. Genuinely, you can do it yourself if you want to. There's a chance you mess it up if you do it yourself and you don't know what you're doing. So I'd probably recommend getting one. You can do it for as cheap as $500. Sometimes it costs a little bit more depending on the structure of your business. But if you guys are just one person and you own the business, usually it's a very simple process.
Okay. I have a warning for people that do that. Make sure you get someone you trust to help. Because I got an accountant and he did that for me. And I was supposed to get a payroll to myself every month, and I didn't realize until 2 years later I got none of the money, and he stole.
You got Greg? Damn. Wow. 170?
Yeah.
You got it back, right?
Not yet. I'm in the process.
Okay.
Hey, I'm killing somebody.
Okay, I will say, you actually don't need an accountant to do that. You only need a lawyer to create the company. You can have an accountant to manage the money and stuff like that in it afterwards, but your accountants and lawyers should be people you trust with your life, because they can't scam you and you will never know. So it doesn't cost much to do. It's a formality, really. But once you incorporate, you can actually head to step 3, create a bank account. You feel me? And this sounds simple, but this is how you'll be moving all your money. So I actually had done both these stages. I did create my LLC, even though I don't plan on using it till probably at some point next year. And I also created my bank accounts. And then you want to put some money in your bank account so they don't close your account, whatever the default is for the bank that you use. But because it's its own entity now, it can own things. It can own assets. If you want, you could assign a house to it. You could assign anything that can be legally owned to your new LLC. And what we're going to do first is create a bank account. Probably open a couple credit cards, invest a little bit of capital, like whatever the default is. For your bank, it could be like $50, could be $1,000, whatever. And then you could also, and then that's going to help because ideally you want the money going to your account, otherwise your account is going to be a mess. And all that is help. Shopify has an entire process to help with payments and things of that nature to make that whole process easy as you guys create and sell products on your business. And then the next part is product development. So there's actually 2 ways to do it. The way we did it with Tone is what we call from scratch. This means we was there in the boardroom day 1 figuring this out. But as you'll realize, as you guys grow as streamers, you will actually have opportunities where people will come to you and say, hey, do you want to be the face of our business? We already have a little bit of motion. So I'm not going to use names, but we had something happen a couple months ago where a big energy drink company had asked us if we want to work with them. They already were making like $50 million a year in sales, but they weren't selling to consumers, they were selling to a specific industry. They wanted something consumer facing, so they wanted us to be the face of it. And that's what we call white label. So these are like little opportunities that come. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying, if you're selling something, it has got to be something you really believe in. And usually when you go white label, you don't have as much control over it because it's already owned by a lot of people. They can give you 5% equity, 10%, 20%, 30% equity. If the opportunity makes sense, it's something you care about, it's something you can entertain. But if you can, it comes off as a lot more authentic when you do things from scratch. That's something out of your soul. That's something, every business is a little bit of risk. It's risk you put in time-wise, it's risk you put in money-wise. And so when people feel that, that's what makes them want to support something. Feel me? And then also the product just has to be kind of good.
Honey, I have a friend with benefits.
What?
Hey, Doug.
Shaq is your friend with
And here's 2 examples. So, Mr. Beast at first, he did Mr. Beast Burger, and it was cool. You know, it was a good idea. I think he was thinking of how fast he could potentially scale it with a bunch of ghost kitchens, and it did fail eventually. This is an idea of something that was white label, but then he learned from that lesson and did something from scratch, where he made that whole chocolate process himself. And even if you didn't like the original Feasible Bars, the new ones are fire. But that took a process. His audience originally believed in the idea, bought the products, that gave him enough momentum to be able to improve the products. All of these fields are like super competitive. When you get a big streamer in chocolate, Hershey's doesn't like that. And when we get in self-care, the Doves don't like that. They see you as a threat. But that could be a good thing. That could be a good thing because those are actually the people that eventually will put an offer on your business. So, you know, when Instagram was bought by Facebook, they saw Instagram as a threat. And so you have 2 options. You either compete with the threat or you buy the threat. So depending on the terms of the arrangement, and you could argue that was the biggest deal of Facebook's career. I think they bought it for $1 billion. It's worth way more than that now. So like, you know, it's business. You know, you never know in hindsight. But this is the difference between white label and then doing something from scratch. And then the next part is the hiring. So you made the business. Now it has bank accounts. It's an official entity. Now you actually have to hire. This actually completely depends on how much money you have, right? When Kai Cenat is starting his clothing brand, he could afford to hire the best. He can get the best people. But if you don't have that type of money, you could actually just run it all yourself, right? And there's lots of examples of that. And I genuinely recommend you start picking the brains of some of these streamers that have businesses, bro. Your Rage has a gym. He owns a commercial gym. That's a whole business, but nobody ever asks him questions about that. You feel me? But you have so much to learn from people that have experienced it. Not just because he owns a business, because he's also a streamer. So he knows what it's like to stream a bunch and then also manage a business. These are people you should learn from. Ray was in here earlier. Ray is a business demon, bro. Like, she's someone I want to pick her brain. She understands it. She's in the right spots. She's good at negotiating. So these are people, if you have them for a second, they just chop it up. Like, yo, I feel like I can learn a lot from you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, you got like 5 minutes. I promise he's not going to send you away. All right. And so, like, for me, what hiring would look like in my agency racing business is I'd probably hire somebody that could do both operations and sales. So I am anticipating maybe it costs like $80,000 to $100,000 for that role. And then just somebody that could help put the racing team in front of brands, but also can get stuff done. I'm gonna need the car shipped to this place. I'm gonna need to contact this person. I'm gonna need this built. I need this on this car, whatever. I also want to film the journey. This is interesting because it kind of depends on how you want to do it. A good story always wins. I'm gonna give you a good example. Nobody here watched F1 10 years ago, I swear. Like, in America, I didn't hear nothing about F1. All they did was drop a good documentary on Netflix, and all of a sudden, people are popping out to Miami to go to the event, Austin go to the event, Vegas got an event. Well, that's in Europe, but you're right. It's expanding. That's my point. You have no idea how powerful a good story is. You're making a brand. Right? What's the story behind that? What makes you want to actually create? Like, what is the story you're going to tell to people that they're going to connect to? So you might not need to know the answer right now, but these are things you should be thinking about, because the better you could communicate it, the more people are going to connect with it. Does that make sense? And then you want to make your first purchase. And for me, I'll probably just get like a simple car, like an agency Miata. So it's simple, but in racing world, like simple as $50,000 Miata. So you got to get the roll cage and all the fire hydrants and safety features and stuff like that. Yeah. You know those little, yeah, it's like whatever.
Snake looking logo?
No, it's the Mazda.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, besides the point.
I'm passionate about it because you're smiling while you're saying it.
Bro, I want to be in the track right now. When I was coming here, I hit up Payne, because Payne also has an automotive company. And I said, yo, you trying to drift? Do you want to do something? And we almost shipped our cars out here to do some stuff, but we just didn't think we were going to have time. Yeah, but that's how much I care about it. It's very fun. Yeah.
I'm sorry. PetSmart Charities and Hill's Science Diet invite you to join us for National Adoption Week. PetSmart, anything for pets.
Living with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4.
I just missed the last part where you said make the first purchase.
You don't have, but whatever that purchase looks like for you. For you, it could be like, if you're creating a product, it could be getting a test. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to cost some money depending on where you do it from. I will say, if you're struggling to find information, you'll be surprised how useful some of the AI tools are. So I only use AI as a search engine. I literally just use it to search. I didn't know how, what's that?
I said no AI.
Yeah, no, for your creative, bro. You don't want to replace people with it, but you know, if you're using Google, just use Google Gemini. It's going to feed you a better answer. And even if you use Google, it's going to say AI summary, and it's going to give you Gemini. But the point is, like, if you have no idea how to do something, you could Google it. But like, if I don't know a specific racing rule for a specific organization on a specific day, I'm not Googling that no more. I literally just Gemini, and Gemini go through the whole fucking rule book for me and then tell me what the actual answer is. So, you know, be efficient with your time. And then you want to create a home for the business. This is actually where Shopify comes in. So you want to create a store if it's something that you're selling, a landing page. When Streamer University was announced, what did Kai post? It was a website, and when you went on there, what did it ask you for? Your email, your information. Now, that's actually a very interesting fact, because that's something he owns. He can't get banned from emailing you, but he could get banned from YouTube tomorrow for absolutely no reason. So when you're running a business, you want to try and be on platforms you can control in areas where you can directly reach out to people. And anybody who actually is running business in here knows how powerful of a feature that is. Because you can use social media to amplify your business, create content to supercharge and push your business. It could be the engine. But you want to bring them to a place that you own and control. And you get on here, you can see all the analytics, how long they were on the website, like what they clicked on. Did they put it in the cart? Did they check out? How many people didn't check out? Why didn't they check out? What they bundled it with. This is something you completely control. You get all the analytics. You have all the control over who the actual customer is. What's up, Yugi?
getting a pause call. Apparently, I'm needed in the main office.
Yeah, you don't have to explain yourself. Yeah, you're good, man. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you later.
Honestly, isn't that why SMS and email marketing is so important when it comes down to business?
Yeah. I want y'all to like pay attention a little bit. There are people, business people that they'll say like, I'm giving out my number, text my number. It's just something that they own and they can reach out to you. So when people are, like it's weird, when you get in business, you start to see all the business strategies that people are using to sell you something. And it's nothing to be sold, so you're being sold something all the time, man. Every logo you see on here is someone trying to sell you something, make you aware of something, right? So it's nothing to be sold, you just should know when it's happening. But as much as when you're paying attention to it, you can start applying that in your own businesses. So for me, what my business will look like is first I would set a schedule for where I'm gonna be at, where I'm gonna race at for the year. I'd pick them all out. I'm gonna be in Michigan in January, I'm gonna be in Florida in February at this day. I want to have a whole layout so when people get there, they know where I'm going to be at. Why? Because they could support it. They could show up to the event. What that's going to look like for me is people actually support the journey. If people are supporting the journey, not only does that feel good to you, but on top of that, it's good content for sure. And then third, the brands see that and they're like, wow, this is a guy we want to work with. And depending on what your business is, that's going to be incredibly important. For me, it could also be selling some sort of merchandise. That would be like an accessory piece of revenue. But for T-Pains, for example, Nappy Boy Automotive, this is a big part of the revenue stream. They focus a lot on being able to sell these because it helps support the actual business. We talked a little bit about email marketing and then, of course, attracting sponsorships, which are all things that businesses still do. And then once you own a business, you're actually the person that could give people sponsorships, which is interesting because now you're providing opportunities to other people to do the thing that you're also trying to do. And so, yeah, this is what it actually looks like on the website. So everything's right here on the left. So all your products can be over here, all the orders from everybody that ordered something. This, bro, when we first launched Tone, I clicked on this, it was like super overwhelming. We had a counter in the house that broke once it passed 6,000, and we just like left it there because nobody wanted to fix it. But you'll have all the information on your customers, and then you'll get analytics on how to grow it and stuff like that. Again, I cannot stress enough that you do not own these platforms, bro. Don't let it happen to you, because it's happened to some people in this room already, and content's like this. It's not always going to be up, but man, if you make the same mistake twice, you kind of deserve it. I made a mistake once. I didn't know better. I have to make the adjustment next time I get the opportunity. Being able to own the platforms that you're making money on, that you're making content on, is the way you make it 10 years in streaming. Is the way you make it 15 years in streaming. Is the way you elevate to whatever it is you want to do next, right? Kai loves streaming. He said he would never quit streaming. But he also has other loves. He wants to start a fashion company. Boom. He can do that and stream. Here's the thing, though. Most fashion companies, most brands, what's the hardest part? What's the hardest part of owning a brand and a fashion company?
The hardest part?
The trends, maybe?
Can be. It's tough to keep up with the trends sometimes. Oversaturation. Anything else?
People think it's cool.
People think it's cool. And what is that? Marketing. That's marketing. That's marketing. You control what's cool if you own the platform. So anyway, point is, like I guess somebody could have started a fashion business and they don't have an audience. Kai starts a fashion business. It's a lot of people that care about it off the rip.
The hard part is getting people to see your brand and to wear your brand, because there's obviously a lot of competitors.
Correct.
Like for instance, me, something I'm gonna dive into is I'm gonna start building affordable PCs for people who can't afford to hire PCs, because something that I've noticed even with my friends and helping them is they buy really bad computers that can't really
support the stuff they want to do.
Exactly. And even with my story, I started off with shit equipment, right? I wish I had the best of the best of the best. I wish I had a brand that would sell me a high running computer at a low price. And that's honestly my brand. Even when you said document the story, that's my story with the brand I want to start.
Good. You want to keep building that story. Are some of these concepts connecting? I know they're very high level, and you might be listening to this thinking like you're very far away from this point. You're not. I promise you're not. I genuinely promise you're not. As a streamer, it happens like this. Opportunities happen like this. As important as it is to understand the content side so you continue to grow and you want to get your viewership up, you want more people to watch your stuff, it's also important to consider these things. I'm telling you, first of all, being a content creator costs a lot of money. Let's be straight up. Your ideas cost a lot of money, okay? And then people will know who you are. Now you got to worry about privacy, security. Bro, if you're broke and everybody knows you, I mean, life is going to be a little challenging, bro. Life is just, and it's just gonna, that's like the least safe way to move around. you're going to want to consider these things. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. It's not like people here don't want to make money, but I genuinely feel like sometimes money has a bad reputation. Realistically, bro, some of the best things in life happen with money, bro. New cures happen. You got to spend a lot of money to make that happen. Feel me? The best ideas, you want to start a nonprofit, you need money to make that happen. So, what's up? Yeah, bro, which one you want? Yeah, I got you, bro. You know how to catch? Actually, I don't want to hit you. Yeah, what you need? Yellow? And shout out to Shopify. We're going to go get 2 TVUs here, which I'm a little nervous about. But it's as simple as this. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as this, bro. You know what I'm saying? You click on different themes and stuff like that to help set up your website, and they do a lot of the work for you. And on here on the side, you got the whole thing. You can give them prompts on make it like this, try it like this, maybe add this color, and it'll all fill for you so that, you know, back in the day, you actually needed to know how to code to do this stuff. Or you just hire somebody and pay them a lot of money. But nowadays, you know, it's as simple as a Shopify subscription. So, boom, this is what my schedule will look like. I'm at the Grand Prix. Come to my website and take a look. This is what the merchandise looks like. I'm selling a jacket, a shirt, a hat. Do you want to support the business? Boom, this is how you can do it. And then you have to think about the actual rollout. There are some people that are masters of rollouts. You know what I'm saying? There are some artists where it's like you can't miss the rollout. Feel me? Because it gets you so excited for it. When you're starting your business, the rollout has to match the passion you feel for it. Do not just drop a video saying, I started a business, bro. Okay? You have to get people excited about it. And, you know, Kai's really good at it because he has so much appeal, but it happens in different scale all the time. So you want to get your audience really excited about it. And that can mean talking about it for a long time. So this applies to businesses as much as it applies to content. You want to have a good business rollout. Anything you want people to care about, you have to give them a reason to care. It's just that simple. And so if you've been filming the journey, maybe that could be part of some trailer that you do. Maybe you could shoot some sort of documentary or something like that. Maybe you could post some content along the way, right? And so for me, I'm shooting behind the scenes. I'm not certain what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm gonna put together some masterful YouTube video about like the stage of learning, because it is a hell of a thing to learn and incredibly scary. What's up?
What would I tell my younger self? I know bedwetting feels big when you're little. Good nights are here, protecting you through the night, so you can keep dreaming big.
Great half. We gotta keep that pressure on. And use the Active Cash Visa credit card from Wells Fargo.
She's right.
Christian Pulisic.
It scores unlimited 2%.
For rollout, one thing that I actually did observe a couple of months ago, it's my friend, his name is Slim John, he owns a clothing brand. A rollout as far as like interacting with the city, he literally went around downtown and put up posters and put up like secret Easter eggs for people around the city to find, just to build up his pop-up shop, which happened in Wicker Park in Chicago. And it was like successful, and he dropped the trailer and he dropped the movie, and he ended up selling out the entire thing.
That's creative though.
Exactly.
Like, and think about how Kai did it with Stream University, right? Exactly. Right? Kai you saw the bus on Twitter, now everybody's talking about the bus, where's it gonna be at? Hotel, people getting swarmed. Hey, that was bound to happen. Where's it gonna be at? Feel me? Like, these are not things that happen by accident. He's intentionally doing all this stuff. He is a master of getting you to care about the thing he's doing. So I fully expect him to do something really cool with Vivette, and I fully expect him to do anything with whatever event. I mean, Mafiathon, he had like a billboard in LA, and we're like, whoa, okay, damn, Mafiathon 3 is happening. When's it gonna happen? We don't know the answer. So he spams trailers because he loves to act, but you know that doesn't have to be your thing. It could be whatever you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? So things to consider. And then the last part, and this part is just and beyond, is the growth. So like once you start the business, you're gonna have to essentially just receive information from your customers and see what's working, what's not working, and make necessary adjustments. If you know certain, like we just created a new scent with Tone. It's the best scent and it's hitting. But that's something we're gonna lean into now. Feel me? So like that's not something we could have predicted. You can make some educated guesses, but you don't always know. Business, like content, sometimes you can post a piece of content and you think it's gonna hit and it doesn't hit. And other times it'd be the thing you didn't think was gonna hit went crazy. So as much as you try and understand your audience, you're never gonna be perfect. Misses are natural. We missed SKUs. There were certain SKUs we removed from Target because they weren't selling as well. Then we added some SKUs and they hit. It's literally a process of
Eek.